What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new video in which today we are in the very new Polestar 2. And that's quite the opposite from last week where we had also a Polestar, but then the Volvo Polestar, an estate, the V60. Very noisy, very shouty, awesome car, and with an internal combustion engine. And here we are a couple of years later in the Polestar 2 from standalone brand Polestar, fully electric, a so-called electric performance vehicle with its unique own style, design and thoughts of a brand. Over the past few months I had the opportunity to drive a couple of Polestar 2s to experience the car a bit better, and this morning I am in one again, lucky me, and I figured let's share a couple of things I really start to love about this car with you guys. So that we are going to do today. Let's start on the exterior side of the car, so let's get out of it. Alright guys, so there we are outside of the Polestar 2. This specific one is the Polestar 2 Performance with all packs included, so full option, really nice spec in the Thunder Grey. That means that it also has 408 horsepower from the dual motor 78 kilowatt battery pack, so it's really quick, it's really awesome. But there are a couple of things that stand out on the Polestar 2, and the first is the design. I really love the design, and for many it also kind of feels familiar as a Volvo, and that's not weird because a couple of years ago Volvo released two concept Volvo cars, of which one was the S40 kind of concept. Back then we figured, okay, that will most likely be a Volvo S40, but here we are a couple of years later and this design actually went to the standalone brand of Polestar, and they made the lovely Polestar 2 of it. And as you can see, yeah, it's kind of a Volvo, but you know, with its own style to it as well. Lovely front, big performance wheels as well over here, and then at the back that big simplistic rear end. You know, it looks amazing if you ask me. A couple of other things I really like about the Polestar 2 are the head and the rear lights, especially when you lock and unlock the car. Unfortunately now it is daylight, so I'm afraid you can't really see it that good, but if you would unlock the car you could see a kind of a dynamic light animation going on, which is really cool, especially in the dark. It looks just very good. Also on the front, this one has the pixel LED headlights, which are, you know, typical Swedish, very bright lights. Look very good. If we lock the car, and let's try to unlock it once more then. Yeah, that looks good. So very cool. So besides the design and those awesome rear and tail lights, this car is of course an electric vehicle, which means if we open up the hood of the car, let's see if I can find it. Yep, there we go. It has a frunk. For those who do not know yet, that basically means front trunk, just as in the rear, where you know, a normal car would have the internal combustion engine over here. An electric vehicle does not, so there's space left. And yeah, it's about 38 liter capacity, not that much, but for example useful to put your charging cable in. But also, for example, if you go on a holiday with your family, you need a bit more storage space. You know, you can kind of more or less fit, I don't know, a bag with like a laptop and that kind of stuff in there. So that's really cool, and the thing I like about electric vehicles particularly. One last thing on the exterior is that this one is the performance pack, which means it has a bit more of a performance twist to it. So that means, for example, in the Polestar 2, that instead of chrome, this is black. Over here, the roof, this part normally would be in the exterior color of the car, and that is black now as well, with the big panoramic roof, by the way, very cool. And down here we get those gold Polestar details from nowadays, so gold valves over here, really nice. Small gold brake over there, and then in the front, as you can see, big Brembo performance brakes with a nice Polestar badge on it. Performance wheels as well, and as this is the performance pack, it also has the Öhlins suspension, which you can adjust to a couple of settings to your liking. Alright guys, so we are back in the interior of the Polestar 2 Performance. There are a couple of things on the interior wise, but also system side of the car I really like. So let's get started with that. I got my second camera, so I'm gonna record from this side as well. And the first thing basically is that this car doesn't really have a physical start or stop button. You just get in. The car will notice that you are in the seat. You put your feet on the brake, or your foot on the brake. You throw this nice gear lever, by the way, with the Polestar emblem, cool thing, into drive, and you simply drive away using the gas. As this is an electric vehicle, you have the second thing I really like about this car, which is the one pedal driving, which you can set up in the system of the car. Over here you can see that down here on the left you have one pedal driving, which you can turn off, which basically makes the car a standard automatic kind of gearbox car. So hold the brake, release the brake, and the car will start to drive. I am always in the standard one pedal driving mode, which means that you simply down there you press the gas, very smooth, and the car will start rolling, accelerating. If you release the pedal, the car will slow down, and meanwhile it will also regenerate energy to the battery system. So that's, you know, a smart thing about electric vehicles, that they can regenerate energy from that one pedal driving method. So that's a very cool thing. One of the other very cool things about the Polestar 2 is that it is based on the Google Automotive OS system software-wise. And that basically means that you get a couple of very good applications in the cars. So for example, you get Google Maps, which is, in my opinion, very reliable and one of the best navigation systems you could have. So that's very cool. But also that you have applications you can install. And as the Polestar 2 is still quite new, there aren't that much applications yet. But recently, with the new over-the-air update, a better route planner came available, an application that many electric vehicle drivers use. So that's pretty cool. And recently also Polestar came with an application for a few countries where they can watch live television on this lovely screen up here. So that's also pretty cool. It's not available in the Netherlands yet, but for example in Sweden and Belgium, I believe, and slowly they will roll out more opportunities and channels basically. Personally, of course, I'm hoping Netflix will also come, because when charging you can binge watch in your car. What's better, I mean. And also of course YouTube, where then during charging you can watch one of my videos. That being said, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So one of the final things I really like about the Polestar 2 is basically the interior itself of the car. So let's get again the camera over here. The door panels. Sometimes it kind of feels familiar with the Volvo, but that's of course not strange because they are sister brands, they are within the Geely group. But yeah, lovely materials. It's all vegan materials inside here, so that's also very good by Polestar. Lovely small details over here on the door. Familiar door handles from the XC40. Steering as well, but then with the nice emblem in it. Over here, some nice wood kind of interior going on. That's just really good looking. Over here, very basic. You got one cup holder, you got a little storage compartment over here as well, with a movable armrest, which is very nice. Up here there is wireless charging, so that's pretty cool as well. Very important nowadays. Nice glass, of course a bit sensitive for fingerprints, oh boy. And being the performance spec of the car, we also got the nice gold seat belts, also familiar from, for example, the Polestar engineered Volvos, which is very cool. So there we go, guys. That are a couple of things I really like about the Polestar 2. Is it all perfect? No, of course, personal opinion, but as I am very tall, so that's my own fault. I'm sorry, the space for the driver is quite limited. The console, it gets quite wide, and especially getting into the car for my long legs, it's a bit hard. First time in the Polestar, I slammed my right knee into the middle console and it felt like I broke my knee. So that's a fun first experience with the Polestar, I think. Besides that, yeah, the car of course is an electric vehicle, so it's quite expensive. Fortunately, besides the full option performance, Polestar 2, you know, also have the standard range, which is better affordable. Don't get me wrong, it's still quite expensive, but for an electric vehicle it's a good deal. And you also get the long range single motor, which also gives decent performance. I believe somewhere in the 200 horsepower, and also the same long range or even longer range as the performance, so that's very cool. But that being said, yeah, thanks a lot for watching.